Hello, my name is Elisha Lopez, and my age is 20, and a common problem among people my age is drinking and driving. With drinking and driving, there are multiple options and or just preventions from happening. The first one is alternate transportation options. In our day and age, we have multiple technologies that prevent drinking and driving. For example, we have apps such as Uber and Lyft. Uber and Lyft are apps where you could call someone to pick you up and bring you to point A to point B. This being wherever you drank from, brings you home or brings you from point A to point B, which is your home or wherever you live. The next option you could do to prevent drinking and driving is surrounding yourself with good company. Good friends or good family will try to keep you protected and safe. It will stop you from either drinking anymore, where you become very intoxicated, where you're in a mindset of not making good choices and decisions, or they can call someone or drop you off to your house or wherever you are safe. The last thing you can do is become the designated driver or don't drink at all. Certain occasions call for you and your friends going out for a drink. When you go out for a drink, y'all try to have a good time. However, when y'all go out to such events, there's always going to be that one person where they can't drink, so they can drive normally when they come back. They can still have a good time, but unfortunately, that one friend out of your friend group is going to be that designated driver. Sometimes you're going to have to also fill that role in sometimes, just because it'd be fair and respectful for all the friends. Every day, around 920 people are injured in a drunk driving crash. Every day, 34 people die in drunk driving, according to 2023 data. 804,996 Americans were arrested and accused of DUI in 2024. Fatalities rise sharply over weekends and holidays. I'm going to use two examples, my cousin and my uncle. First, we're going to go over my cousin, or no, sorry, go over my cousin. I said cousin twice. My uncle. Sorry. Sorry. Anyways, a couple years ago, we got a call from one of our uncles, or I think it was our parents. It was our or my parents. It was from my parents. We got a call. It was in the middle of the night, and they we were just resting, and they were out. They were out and about. We didn't know why they were out and about. Turns out that my uncle had tragically passed away from a drinking and driving incident. Turns out what happened was during 2 a.m., my uncle was very intoxicated while driving. And at a certain point in time, he just stopped at the middle of the highway. In doing so, he threw up all over the steering wheel, just very messy, just proves out how drunk he was. After that happened, he had gone out of the car and started walking around. When you're in that mindset, you're not thinking properly. So he was walking around at 2 a.m. near a highway. At a certain point in time, he got in the middle of the highway and was just wandering around. In doing so, tragically, someone had ran him over and killed him, and he was dead on the spot. It was a 18-wheeler. It hit him, full-on collision. I never saw the body, but it was very brutal. It was very tragic. I didn't go to his funeral, but because I didn't know him very much, but it was a very tragic day for my dad's side, especially for my dad. It was his brother, and you could never see him again. Another example I'm be using is my cousin. Fortunately, he had not passed away, my cousin, but his life did drastically change on him. It was around the same time, 2 a.m., different dates, and my cousin and this buddy of his went out to go drinking. They're older than me. They have the option to do that. I'm 20 years old. He was 25, 20, no, 23. So they go out and drink. It was around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Then they wanted to come back from drinking and hanging out. They did so. The problem was they never called anyone else or called an Uber or anything like that. They decided to drive themselves. My cousin didn't decide to drive, but his friend did. However, his friend was also very intoxicated, such as my cousin. So they go in a car together and they're driving. If I remember what they told me, they're driving normally. However, since they're both intoxicated, they can't judge properly what distance they're going or how fast they're going, right? So they keep on driving, and then his buddy, my cousin's buddy, all of a sudden just somehow just hits a tree. Full on collision, no stopping whatsoever. When that happened, my cousin's back was severely injured during that crash. When that had happened, I got a call from my older cousin, his brother, the cousin's brother, and he was just it was on Christmas Day. It wasn't Christmas Day, but it was during Christmas time. It was supposed to be a happy and joyful time during this month. It was or during this week. It was almost Christmas. I was excited. I was gonna hang out with my friends, hang out with my family, and I got that call. I'm very close with this older cousin, so he told me everything. He told me how Max or my cousin Max was doing and how he got what happened, right? So when that happened, when I got that call, it was very tragic. I knew that cousin, and he's still alive, of course, but he definitely changed after that. He had to go through many surgeries for his back. He had to get a metal thing in his back, metal rod, and ever since then he's been progressing on walking normally without a cane or just anything to assist him. He's been getting therapy, physical therapy to help with his walking. And ever since then, he's walking normally now, thank God. And one thing I want to add to this is, or that relates to Christianity or just anything Christian related, is that with drinking and driving, just tell someone. It's the same thing. You just tell someone that whatever, even if you get scolded or disciplined, especially by your uh, I've drunk before. I've had experiences with drinking before, but at certain times I would never. I've thought about drinking and driving, but the Lord told me not to because I could harm myself or harm others. Just change their lives or change my life because it doesn't just affect the victim; it affects your family as well. All those who are connected to you. That's what happened to my cousin and my uncle. It wasn't just them that got affected; it was also the family who was very close with them. My uncle had a wife and 3 kids, and they got very affected. Now they don't have a father and a husband. And my cousin had to deal with the surgeries and all that. But if he had died that day, my uncle and aunt would have lost a son, and my other cousins would have lost a brother, an older brother. But this is what with drinking and driving. This is why you should not drink and drive. You just harm yourself. You have a very high risk, low reward. It might feel fun in the moment when you're intoxicated and just driving. I've had times like that. I've never drunk and drive, but I've had times like that where drink it just puts you in that relaxation. That's what drink is for. I don't condone it, nor do I think it's good to drink too much. If you drink responsibly and you are with others, you surround yourself with good company and you have a backup plan if you're too drunk, like you call someone to pick you up or drop you off. And then also sometimes you just have to be the designated driver and just that.